exciting information and all the different live broadcasts we've had and episodes. And we have another great guest today, but I have to welcome first my co-host, Keith Harris. Keith, how are you?
Hey Neil, how's it going? Everything
Good.
going well?
Yeah, well, I mean, one day to Thanksgiving. Can't
I
wait.
know. I am ready for some stuffing.
Yeah,
Stuff
I'm
me up.
some corn pudding and some all the trimmings. You
No,
can't wait always, regardless of how many people are going to be at Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow.
it's
So
been a crazy year, but I have a lot to be thankful about, and
yes,
I know we all do.
2020 is almost gone, which is unbelievable.
Almost behind us.
Well,
That's something to be thankful about, also.
exactly. Find out what that means by 2020 being gone. But our guest today is our new regional sales manager from the Northeast region, Joe Watswitz. Joe, thanks for stopping by, and
Hey, thank you for having me.
what's your perspective?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, can you tell me your background in security, how that started?
Well, I've always been in some sort of sales related role my entire career since I got out of school. The last 7 years were spent in the security industry. We did doing VMS, analytics, recorders, cameras, overlay applications to that VMS. So really, I mean, if it's, anything video related, access control, chances are I've done it.
What do you mean by overlay applications?
Without naming, without naming manufacturers. So they were, they'd have a VMS application and then another application that overlaid on top of that, that would allow them to integrate into other proprietary software. So like banking software or a retail POS system. It allowed the two of them to talk to each other and transfer data between them.
I've seen some of those POS systems that are, I mean, it's not a new technology at all, but it's really cool. Like in some retail establishments, you can have a video of the transaction going down with the cashier and the customer, but then you can also see the register data that's being input and overlays right on the screen. So that's really cool.
And it would allow you to search as well. So if Neil walks into a bank, we can pull video up based on any transaction that Neil makes, based on his card or his name or his checking account number. It allowed a lot of flexibility.
I could use Neil's checking account number, but we'll take that off.
No. Joe's gonna figure that out. So, Joe, basically, how did you get started? Tell us the electronic security industry. You said you've been part of it, but how long in just the electronic security industry?
In technology, this is going back when I wrapped up school around 2004, 2005.
Wow.
Yeah. The first job was just kind of pushing boxes for a reseller, selling PCs, entry-level servers, peripherals, just, pounding the phones and dialing for dollars. And then just kind of progressed and worked my way up. Next position I took after that was getting involved with, still on the reseller side, but now being able to provide some sort of services and install to those, servers and PCs. And then next position after that was, a little more intricate installs, larger networks spanning multiple locations. And then just, kind of progressed and then moved over to the manufacturing side of things. And then was approached for an opportunity in the security industry. And I always liked it. I was always into the video and photography and, that kind of field as a personal hobby. So I thought it made sense. And once I got here, I absolutely loved it.
Interesting.
That's great. Yeah. So you mentioned you did some installation work and things like that. Some of our guys that are new here that have been on the show actually have done some of the attic crawls and pulling cable and installation of some of the electronic surveillance devices and things like
Yeah.
that. Have you ever done anything like that?
I had, so I was more on the sales side of things. But I have, yes, I have gotten involved with, I worked for some small companies that, you know, when we were shorthanded, yeah, I was the guy in the basement pulling wire, and
Gotcha.
I do
pleasant,
better in the basement than
pleasant
in the attic
experience.
these days. So yeah.
So tell me the history of video surveillance, how it's changed since you started.
Well, I am, you know, I'm about 6, 7 years into the security surveillance. I would say the one thing that I've seen is a lot of companies are moving away from having a locked in, you know, kind of closed in system. More companies are moving towards an open platform, open hardware. So that's kind of what I've seen over the last, you know, 6, 7 years.
So basically, when you talk about opened in system versus closed system, explain what the difference is for those who might be watching who might not know.
Well, on the hardware side, you have you'll have a camera that, you know, can only, you know, camera, let's call it, you know, camera A. Okay, camera A can only talk to recorders and a VMS platform that's manufactured by the same camera A company.
Right. So you have a proprietary communication
Yes,
between the two. Right.
yes. Camera A company could have been a little confusing. I don't know why I chose that, but well, when you talk about an open platform and open hardware, the hardware side, that they'll use a technology called ONVIF, and ONVIF is, the best way I can compare it would be like Bluetooth technology. So anything that's ONVIF compliant can communicate with each other. So it allows any manufactured camera to communicate with a recorder to communicate with a VMS. And same goes for on the software side and on the VMS side. So if you have an open platform that you can integrate different platforms, so integrating a access control platform, integrating facial recognition, license plate recognition, analytics, advanced analytics, artificial intelligence, and yeah, just that allows both systems to kind of communicate with each other and talk to each other, and eliminates the need for a user to have, you know, 6, 7 different platforms that they're switching back and forth between. It brings
Right.
everything under one house, under one roof.
Yeah, and then of course you have the integration team like we have at Lensec that will take
Right.
an SDK from a piece of hardware or a piece of software and integrate it on the back end with our software. So that's a great way, since Perspective VMS is open platform, open architecture. We can work with those third-party software companies to be able to connect our softwares together, even if there's not an ONVIF standard or some other kind of standard that's in place. You know, our development teams work together to make those work better. And there's a lot of other companies, software companies out there that are doing the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So Joe, why did you choose Lensec?
You know, I went through the interview process, and I was given the opportunity to see the software firsthand. So I had a lot of chance to kind of play around with it and, you know, kind of do a deep dive and see what its capabilities and functionality had. So from a technology perspective, I thought this is where this is the future of VMS. You know, being limited to a piece of hardware or limited to a certain brand of camera or a certain platform like access, you know, like an access control platform. Having an open-ended system is what I perceive as the future of the video security world. So from a technology standpoint, it made all the sense in the world. And then there were other things that I looked at. just with the company itself, my interviews with Michael and Jeff, and reaching out to some of the other guys, prior to accepting an offer, just to kind of get their feel of the company and, what their experiences being here. And everything was so positive. Everybody would go out of their way to answer questions and to be helpful. And you got a real sense of a team and unity, that everybody just wants to help the guy next to you, and just want to see everybody be successful. So from that standpoint, it was just a no-brainer. It was a very easy decision to come here.
Very interesting.
That's good. So, what are some of the experiences that you've seen since you started in being able to take our product, Perspective VMS, out to the marketplace and start to engage with people? What are some of the things that you're hearing back?
Well,
People you're talking to?
I've had the training wheels on, but I'm only 3 weeks in, so I still kind of have the training wheels on. But I've made a few, I guess, contacts with some old customers, and just kind of giving them a high level view of what the product looks like, and what it can do. The early returns on that have been, a lot of interest in the open platform. The global search function was something that I got a lot of feedback on. The ease of, just being able to go in and type something in, a couple letters, and you can pull up every camera associated with that, every map, every video extraction. Just the ease of being able to navigate through the interface has been the main thing that I've gotten positive feedback on.
Yeah, that's one of our favorite features. As a matter of fact, one of the trivia questions in our training is, what is our chief product officer's favorite feature?
I remember that, yes.
And then, yeah. Global search, it's always his favorite.
And I brought that up on my interview as well. In the interview process, you got to learn the software and then demo it back to Jeff and Michael. And they say, okay, well, go through the whole software and pick a few things and, present it to us for 15, 20 minutes. And the global search was one of the features that I picked, and Jeff had this big smile on his face, and Michael said afterwards, says, "You made Jeff very happy." Global search as a feature.
That's great. And just to bring some of the people up to speed who might be catching this that don't know much about our software, global search is a very simple tool that allows you to search anything within the database, whether it's a video tagged item, an images extraction that's been created, a camera name, a floor name, or a building name, a map name, just about anything in the system, any kind of metadata that's been captured in the software can be searched and pulled back up via global search. So it's a very powerful tool.
How's that different, Joe, from other VMSs you've worked with the global search? How's that help the ease to use for using the software?
So the things, so what I've seen in the past was being able to search when you're within that certain container. So being able to search for a camera, you can go in and when you're in like the camera viewer or the camera select module for that software, you can do a search for a specific camera. When you're searching extracted video, again, you have to be into that module, and then you can search for, the name of that, that file of extracted video. So yeah, this is something that's for me totally new, and for the customer I've shown it to, it's new to them as well. I think it's an incredible feature.
Interesting. So, kind of, Joe, we said why you chose Lensec, but why should end users choose you and also potential partners choose you in the Northeast region?
Well, it's you know, it's an open-ended platform. It allows the navigation through the system is incredibly easy to use. It's extremely intuitive. One of the things I mentioned during the process and my time learning the system, uh, the way you flow from one item to another, from the maps to the camera to the archives, it's built to kind of flow the way that you would, you know, the way that your mind works and that your mind thinks. You know, moving from a map module into the camera, uh, it kind of follows like your train of thought. Um, and it's laid out exactly how, you know, when you're moving from one thing to another, it's kind of laid out, well, this should be the next logical step or the next logical option, and it's just there. So from an ease of use and a navigation point, it's extremely easy to use. It's cost effective. I mean, it's no hardware involved. It's completely web based. There's no servers to install. There's no additional hardware. It's a cost effective, enterprise level, easy to use system.
So I wanted to ask about some of your past experience. You have a good deal of experience working in vertical markets like banking and retail. So how do you see being able to take a product like this, like Perspective VMS, and take that with an approach to the banking vertical or a retail vertical? What are some of your ideas there?
Yeah, I think it's a great fit. Uh, you know, the banks and retail, they're never going to move away from their own proprietary systems, their POS systems. Um, you know, the banking POS, so they're never going to move away from that. So, uh, you know, the ability to integrate that and have one platform to kind of do it all. Uh, I think it's a huge advantage to them. So I think that there's a tremendous opportunity for, you know, Lensec to move into into the
What's
bank.
what is a type of use case that you might see applied in a banking scenario with integrating video management software with banking software like a POS system?
Okay, so you know the example that I kind of gave earlier. So if a person comes into a bank and you know uses a card that isn't theirs, or there's some kind of activity that's associated with that individual. So being able to talk to the bank's POS system, then we can tie each piece of video to an account number, to a person. Uh, Basically, whatever query you're going to be able to do in the bank software, you're going to be able to then pull the video associated with that on the Perspective VMS side. Yeah, so uh, just being able to associate video with you know, with a person or with an account, I think is incredibly beneficial.
Yeah, so that lends a lot of power to the end user and how they can
Oh,
apply that system for their own security footprint.
right. You know, before, the old way of doing it was, you know, they would just go back and, okay, well, we know that you know, we know that the incident or the transaction took place at 1 o'clock. So let's scroll back to 1 o'clock in our video, but there's also, you know, 6 different people in the bank. And um, yeah, so being able to just, you know, go in, do a, you know, on the search bar and just type in a transaction number and boom, yeah, you have your video next to you. Um, it's, yeah, incredibly beneficial.
So looking at Joe, the hobbies Joe enjoys. We've been talking about security and what he's going to provide to make our team even stronger here at Lensec. But tell us about some of the things you enjoy doing.
Well, we is this pre-COVID or during COVID? During COVID, there's not a whole lot outside of cooking and eating. There's really not a whole lot you can do.
Well, if you live in, it depends the part of the country. See,
Well, my part, yeah,
we're
my
not,
part.
I'm almost locked down like you are in Pennsylvania, but other
Yeah,
places have still enjoyed a lot of the.
I'm kind of making a joke, but it's you could still get out. I still get out and enjoy a lot of the things that I like doing. Just being outdoors and hiking and jogging and working out, being active. Um, I try to play golf. Not not exactly the greatest golf. I do enjoy playing it though. Tennis and um, ATVs, motorcycles. I kind of grew up doing all that stuff. Yeah, that's it. Just spending time with friends and family, and that's kind of me.
You have plenty of time to do that over the next couple of
Yeah,
days.
yeah. Looking forward to that.
And how many people can no, that's for another time. No, depending on the rules and different things, both of our governors have it pretty strict. But again, once we get through 2020, we'll see what 2021 brings. And everyone looking forward to the new year. And I can't believe we're getting to the holidays in so many ways, Keith. Isn't it
I know.
amazing?
This year has just flown by.
I cannot
I don't know
believe it's
how it could have gone so possibly so fast.
So
yeah.
fast. I'm blinking and saying I remember last year's WC, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're almost
Yeah.
there.
Every year we have a winter conference at Lensec, and our team comes together and collaborates and plans and gets ready for the next year. And here we are looking at square in the face again. We've got it coming up in just a couple of weeks. So
The
we're going to do
virtual
it virtually this year. That's what's one thing that's going to be different. We have gotten it together face to face in the past, but that's changed for this year. Everything's happening virtually. We're going to be gathering our team members from all over the world to collaborate internally at Lensec in order to make plans for 2021 and go seize the day.
Exactly. And I remember when we were there, the escape room and all the different interesting things in Houston. Just it seems like yesterday. Seems like, and it's amazing to think we're almost there again. Wow. Well,
Almost
Keith,
there.
time flies. So, Keith, summarize Joe for us.
Well, Joe, thank you for being with us today and being a great addition to the Lensec team. We're excited about the things that you can bring to the table and how you can help us not only improve our product but fit into the culture of the company and most of all take the message of what we're doing here out to the market. Not only the banking market, retail market, but our other education markets, universities, colleges, government, all of them. I mean, we hit so many different verticals, and your expertise is going to go a long way in helping us to be able to approach those markets and spread the word about Lensec and prospective VMS.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
We want to tell all of our American viewers a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, and be thankful for all the great things that we have and family and friends. And we'll see you next week on What's Your Perspective. Again, go to lensec.com/live to catch up with all the different episodes. And I appreciate everyone stopping by. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. See you next week.
Happy to see you. Bye.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.